This is the time for the salvation of the heirs of salvation. This is the time to die no more. There is this account of this person referred to as Adam, His Eminence, in Genesis chapters. That this account, this aspect of him that was not told, the story was not told at all. I called it his heroism. Am I correct? Even though the ones written were not still written accurately, you know. Now, and among the things that you should know that is really, really great, that what will help you know that this person truly is a hero, aside the aspect of how that he has to learn, he has to look into how to alter the cell system of the physical body that God, his physical body, which is a body that God himself coupled. He has to, like in Eden, which I told you is a heaven's world, that he has to learn it, like he has to, like we are here and you are studying here in the earth here. That's also how when he was immersed or baptized into that physical body that God coupled, you know, and then brought into the very Eden, then he has, that's his first time wearing physical body to be in a planet, you know. And then he has to, like I have to decipher, I have to look into what is written in the Bible. Aside the most Holy Spirit incubating on me and giving me revelations that I have to like open the envelope, I have to interpret. I have to also look at what was already written in the Bible to interpret them to you, you know. Now, this Lord Adam has to as well look into the trees, like the leaves, like the trees. Which tree is what is which? Do you understand what I'm saying? Which tree is which? Like we have a whole lot in the air today. And if you today you know that orange is orange, mango is mango. Am I correct? Now, as an example, so he has to look into how to set the altar and also bring the alteration of the cell system of the physical body that God coupled. Like I told you, that even the word setting the altar, people don't even know what that is in the earth here. What they think it is completely different from what it is. People think setting an altar or setting the altar is like getting a table, putting it and putting something they can refer to as altar cloth. Some things they set on top of one table or the other. That is what it means to set an altar. They didn't actually understand what actually is altar setting. Not to talk of the alteration in question, which I have explained to you before now. You know, that the cell system of the physical body that God coupled, in fact, that the physical body that God coupled is actually a supernatural body. The body you have now that dies gradually, the body that you have now that can urinate, defecate, fart, yawn, sneeze, and so on, all of that came with the fall. All of that is because this body is mortal body. It is not the same with the body that God coupled. And that God is perfect and coupled that physical body perfect and so on. And this is what will help you to understand the aspect of that if you eat from this so thing, you will die. That the point there is the physical body of the physical body that God coupled was what was referred to as what will become diable. It will become mortal. And so on. I've explained that to you before now, right? So, like I was saying, this Lord Adam, when he looked into, I said he has to look into how to make that happen. How to alter the physical body that God coupled so that physical body will go through transcends of metamorphosis, negative metamorphosis, and fall from glory. Falling from glory is falling from the state where the body is, which is celestial, which is supernatural. Not just falling from glory, like some people use words like falling from grace. falling from glory. Like, oh, they angered God. They disobeyed God, so they fell from glory. Explain that glory. What did they fall from? Why did the body fall from glory? What is the glory there? Supernatural state, celestial state. And that supernatural state or celestial state has also its explanation. And so on, which I've explained to you before now. So, the point is this. They fall in question. My point is this. That Lord Adam has to look into how to, like the Bible made it look like they ate from just one tree. But they ate from 13 trees. They have to eat from 12 first. And that 12 is what we set the altar. While the 13th tree is what we pull the trigger. So that 13th tree is also the woman that's supposed to give that one. I mean, supposed to eat and then give from the same fruit. She will give to the man to eat. I have explained these things to you, right? Then I told you also that Eden is a heaven's world. And that they were flown into the earth after the fall. And that the supernatural vehicle that brought them into the earth was the very vehicle that came also when Elijah was to be taken. And Elisha was an eyewitness and screamed, my father, the chariot of Israel and the horsemen thereof. That was the chariot of Israel. What he called the chariot of Israel is a supernatural aeroplane. But not the kind that you have here. Like I told you. Not, when we say aeroplane, don't think, everything here is terrestrial. I'm just meaning that it's a flying vehicle that can navigate through from the celestial into the terrestrial. And then go again without destroying anything. And that's why human beings can build aeroplanes today, for instance. So, to cut the long story short, my point is this. That Lord Adam, among his heroic acts, is that he was able to discover how to go about eating from that, first of all, 12 celestial plants, because I told you that the first one must be the first one. The second one must be the second one. The third one must be the, so not just eating 1, 2, 3, 4, like any tree, then you'll be counting it to 1. We've eaten from 1 now. We have to eat from 2. No. The first one, just like a newly born baby, has to be given breast milk. That's how it has to be. Am I correct? That's how it is. The first thing that will enter into that physical body that got coupled must be the first. The second one has to be the second. The third one has to be the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10, 11, 12. Mankind is a race of 12 tribes. After that 12, then the 13th is what will bring the alteration. And each of these ones that I counted as from 1 to 12, each of them has what they will preserve, how they will secure, what they will save in the fall. An example. Why in the fall you still see green as green, red as red, blue as blue, was because one of the trees amongst the 12 trees, I mean the fruits among the trees they ate from, has to secure that. Are you getting it? Then also the aspect of the fact that there are, like you have liver, kidney, lungs, heart that pumps the blood, that there are internal organs in the body you have now should make you think, how then would that body that got coupled, how then do you think that body would have been before the fall? When the body you have now is functioning according to the life that is in the earth here, where death is, how would that body have been? Are you getting what I'm saying? You see, prophet said that there's this thing that happened, which he referred to as transcends of metamorphosis, that was gradual. That's negative metamorphosis. That they fell from glory does not mean the thing has not that's the way it went. You know, a physical body that is supernatural, having supernatural organs, has to gradually. In fact, the prophet said that there are organs that were recruited anew in the earth here, and so on. That's not the story I have to start telling you, because it's such a message of his own, and also is comprehensive. He requires a lot of time for any that will explain it. You know. So my point is this: that I want to just make you remember that this person's teachings, amongst his heroism, his heroic acts, that in the earth here, prophet said that his teachings are referred to as introductory. Like we have that thing we call introductory technology. Am I correct? It is not every technology that you call introductory technology. Some people use words like intro tech. Introductory, it is introductory means that whatever that person is teaching at that time is completely new. And there was no a pre-existing tutorial. Are you getting it? There were no pre-existing tutorial that he himself has to, that like what he has to read, or what must have been taught him by someone before he now start teaching another. That's why I told you. I said he was the one who will call. In fact, he called animals their names, their generic names. He called the trees. He is the one to say, hey, this leaf is edible. This leaf is so by name and is edible. This is how it can be cooked, or how you eat it. You have to cook it a little, or you have to. I do you know what I'm saying? Looking at the fact, this is the first person, the first he and the first she that were in the earth here. Look at that. And that time, and also looking at the mankind race, you will see that truly these are people that when it comes to them that's giving birth to children, it is so important because they were just two. One male, one female, unlike how it is now. So their papacy, or his papacy, you can see, him being a dad, him being a father, is supposed to be completely different from the way it is here. I mean, the way it is today. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just like in the case of Abraham, like I told you, that Abraham, that God promised that he will have children, or he will have a child, is to remind you that there is the principle, there is the Abraham of the mankind race. You see, that there is the what? Abraham of the mankind race. Let me leak one secret to you. Abraham was also known to be a cattle rearer. Am I correct? Like someone who is, a cattle rearer. What is called animal husbandry? What does it mean? Animal husbandry. What does it mean? Somebody who is doing animal husbandry or practicing animal husbandry means that the person is what? Is a rearer of animals. But if you look at it very well, you will see that you wonder why would they use the word husbandry? Am I correct? Animal, then husband, is animal your husband? So why animal husbandry? And then they are trying to say that the person is a rearer of animals, Now what I will explain to you will help you a little. See, the highest, the toughest, the most difficult of that kind of profession, that kind of occupation, is what Lord Adam did. To show also that he is the principal ancestor of the mankind race. Do you get it? So, him also ensuring that, just going into animal husbandry, not because of money. When he was in the earth here, you don't talk about money. You know that money was not yet in existence at that time, right? Now, what he delved into, that you can refer to as that animal husbandry. Are you get what I'm saying? Like rearing of animals. He happened to be the one he was the one that delved into the most, that's the highest, the one that nobody can even do today. An example of it, an example of this. If you read the book of Job, 41, there are some things you will see there. But what I will explain now will help you if you want to look into Job chapter 41. Now, among the animals, Lord Adam tried to domesticate, you know how, like when you use words like zoo. Thank you. That's the animals he kept. Do you get it? Animals he has where he kept them. Also for like people, his children, can see them. Do you understand what I'm saying? amongst it, I want to talk about just one. Just one. That one, the name is the unicorn. The unicorn. If you observe, you see that that name is in the Bible, unicorn. Am I correct? The horn of the unicorn. Things like that. In Revelation chapters, you see words like that's flying horses. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Then the horses were flying horses. That means they were unicorns. Now, what is it about this bird? Your school teachers taught you that there are plants and animals. Then also in the animals, where they told you the things that belong to that belong to the theme animals, they included you. Am I correct? They say that you are an animal. Then also they said that you are as an animal, that you are a vertebrate. That means animal with backbone. They say that you are a multicellular organism. They say that you are a mammal because your women breastfeed like you were breastfed before you grew. So you are a mammal. Am I correct? I've counted 3 now. I don't have to talk about the abominable theory of Charles Darwin, who pointed to you, your ancestral lineage, and said that you are a product of evolution, and that amongst your ancestors are apes. Am I correct? Apes. A-P-E-S. Apes. That's terrible. Yet he was talking about a particular people, that a certain holy book said that God made them in his own image. You can see the height of insult. So if that people are from apes, what is the person saying concerning whoever that they supposed to be in his image? Even though the very person anyway did not believe in any God. So my point is this. That, let me see. For instance, the unicorn. I want to tell you a little about the unicorn. See, there is the true Son of God story. There is the true what? Son of God story. Say that. Child, how did you feel hearing this? There is the true Son of God story. The real story. The Son of God did not pass through the womb of any woman. The Son of God is not supposed to pass through the womb of any woman. Why? Because he's the Son of God. If he should pass through the womb of any woman, it will contradict matters. Look at what I just said now. Are you hearing me? The Son of God is not supposed to pass through, for any reason, pass through the womb of any woman. Why? Because he's the Son of God. The one that was Son of God. Are you getting it? Else it will complicate or contradict matters. Are you hearing me? So the Son of God, the true Son of God, did not pass through the womb of any woman. Jesus of Nazareth, his preeminence, is the God in an incarnate manifestation who came in the shoes of the Son of God to bear the very mankind, Adam's eminence, whose spirit being is the very Son that God gave birth to. Spirit being without physical body first, and then later came into a planet to couple his physical body. After which he now immersed that spirit being programmed in the soul. He now baptized that spirit being programmed in the soul into the physical body that he coupled. That is the reason the spirit being in the soul can be ejected out of the physical body, and then the physical body will lie down dead, and then that spirit being in the soul becomes a ghost. That's an evidence of it, to show that the physical body of the person was different from the spirit being. Was like living soul, and he became a living. That God breathed into his nostrils, and he became a living soul. Is nonsensical. The spirit being was given birth to. Are you hearing me? So the Son of God was given birth to spirit being without physical body in the Father's bosom. The mankind race is a race of 12 tribes and has her patriarchs. There is who a founding father of a race is. There is the definition, explanation of what it means to be a founding father of a race. Let me give you an example. If there are 12 fathers, 12 male, that's 12 sons standing, 12 people, okay, that are supposed to be founding fathers of 12 tribes. Each of them are supposed to look different. Let me give you an example, like in the earth here. In the earth here. Okay, let me use another example that maybe that will be easier. Noah gave birth to how many people? 3 sons, right? Thank you. Now, if the 3 sons of Noah should have stood now, the very Ham, or Japheth, Shem, and Ham, if the 3 should have stood for you to watch, you will look at 3 people that did not look like they have the same father, the same mother. That is the reason Ham became the progenitor of Africans. Not just people that occupied Africa. People that are like those people that if you see, you say that they are Africans. Looking at their hair, the texture of their hair, the color of their skin. Am I correct? That is how Ham looked. While Japheth looked exactly the way Europeans look. While Shem looked exactly the way Asians look. Look at that. But the 3 are from the same father. I mean, they are children of one man and one woman. Noah and Noah's wife. So how can somebody give birth to 3 different people? Are you getting what I'm saying? I mean, not just 3 different people. There's people that are progenitors of people that if you're looking at them in the air today, you might even use words like racial differences. Like Africa being different from the white. They use words like races here. They say that there are 2 races. The white race, the Negro race, or the black race, and so on. You see? Then imagine then that Noah has his wife, his 3 children, the 3 children's wives. These are the 8 people in the ark. That means they survived a certain thing that was referred to as like human beings became endangered. Like an endangered species at a time. So how come Noah happened to be the father of the progenitor of Africa? Or Africans? Then, that of the Europeans and that of Asians. Look at it. Like look at it clearly. That will help you to understand what it looks like. If that man who is the father, for instance, of a race that is a race of 12 tribes. So a founding father will have a unique difference, a unique quality. What you might not look, if you should look for that in the other person, you will not see. I mean, among the 12 co-patriarchs, the 12 people that they are co-patriarchs together. Do you know what I'm saying? So then, while in the very principal ancestor of the mankind race, you have to now look for why that can happen. Why would that man give birth to people that are that way? You see? So I said that the very 12 bloodlines that is traced to the God Almighty's own bloodline. That God's own bloodline, that there are 12. I told you that. And then God gave birth to his son. And the son got that 12. The son gave birth to 3 people, male. These are the 3 Elijahs of the kingdom. That 3 Elijahs gave birth to 444. That is the 12 patriarchs. And at the time they were giving birth to that 444, that gene has been distributed rightly. That is, each Elijah gave birth to 4. Because each Elijah got 4 from Father Adam. So the 3 Elijahs got 444. You see? And then also gave birth to 444. Which then marshaled that 12. So these are things that will help you to understand words like the 24 elders in the Bible. That there are the 24 elders. I told you that the rest 12 that made them 24 are their female model types. That they are in the super bio. The man will first of all bring forth his female model type before giving birth to the sons. I told you that. So, because of time, please, let me not go into that. I said that the most difficult animal husbandry, someone practiced it or went into it, but I want to explain it to you. I was talking about the unicorn, right? I said that science told you about plants and animals. Then among animals, even though they included you, they spoke about, for instance, they spoke about animals that are carnivorous, right? Herbivorous. They spoke about amphibians, the ones that can enter, that can, like, in fact, like they can live inside water and on earth. Am I correct? They spoke about, vertebrates, non-vertebrates, name them, right? But they didn't tell you about animal birds. Did they tell you about animal birds? They spoke about birds as birds fly. Am I correct? They spoke about animals, right? They spoke about fishes. It wasn't not that. Fishes live in water. Animals on the ground. But then there are, among animals, there are amphibians, right? And then birds. Then I'm telling you, there is what is called animal bird. Animal bird. An example of an animal bird is the unicorn. The unicorn is an what? Animal bird. They went extinct, right? It's not only that, but okay, let me give another example. Another example is the dragon. The dragon. Dinosaur. You at times when you see these things in the cartoon, you think maybe they are just cartoon, like they didn't exist before. There are certain species that went extinct, and they didn't go extinct because the human beings did not manage them. No, they went extinct because they should go extinct at a time. Are you hearing me? I explained them before to be like in between the terrestrial and the celestial, and there were things I explained to you. Then let me see. I said that everything that Lord Adam taught is categorized as introductory technology, because they were all introduced anew without any pre-existing tutorial. They were all introduced anew. He came into the earth that was an unfamiliar environment, you know. So everything was new. I hope you're understanding this. I want you to understand that word introductory, from the word introduce. When somebody said I was the one that introduced this to people, it's like the person is a founding father of that thing. Are you getting it? That's like somebody say, I'm also that brought the science of electricity. As an example. Do you get it? So when something is introductory, it is meaning that person was the one that brought it. So introductory technology. That's why if you observe, if they taught you that in school, you see that it has to do with, most times it has to do with manual this and manual that. Is it not it? How that the person is the one to manufacture the how. Am I correct? Not just read it and try to see how to practicalize. No. Like the how. He was the one to manufacture the how. You see? So everything that Lord Adam taught is categorized as that. Introductory. Are you hearing me? You take orange today, you know that you have to peel the back and throw away. You know because you were taught. Then, no, it is him that has to decipher it. That's why I told you that he is greater than the prophet. He is the one that called the animals their names. And an example of one, like I told you. For instance, if you should, like you call elephant. Am I correct? Elephant. Because that's what they told you, that's the name, elephant. I mean, that's the generic name. He will call names like he who trumpets. You see? He who trumpets. So by the time you now see the elephant trumpets, you say, he called it right. He was already in Eden doing that. In Eden, he was already doing that. That was what they tried writing in the Bible and said that God brought all the animals, and any name that he calls them becomes their name. Because right in Eden, there's also the device they can look into. Do you understand what I'm saying? there is this celestial device, like we have our phones. Okay? So Lord Adam has access with or access to that. When I told you when he came into Eden, the first thing he did was to fly into his home office. I told you that. Watch himself in the mirror and scream. And said what? Indeed, you are exactly like God. You see, he was giving birth to somewhere first, spirit being without physical. He was existing somewhere before the creation. I mean, before planets become tangible, becomes before the different planets, heaven's worlds, becomes what? Physically, or before God brought the things he created in his creative faculty into tangible reality. So my point is this, that this Lord Adam in the earth here, he taught amazingly. Everything he was teaching, you can categorize, you can put it under the umbrella, introductory science. Introductory, it was introductory. Everything he was teaching. That is a heroic act. Then, like I was talking about a unicorn or a certain animal bird, you see? And I said that introductory technology was called introductory because they were all introduced anew without any pre-existing tutorial. Then I said also, okay, the most difficult animal husbandry was practiced by the Abraham of the mankind race. The most, what? The most difficult animal husbandry was practiced by the Abraham of the mankind race. The most difficult animal bird to rear or domesticate is the unicorn. The unicorn consumes or drinks water from the sea. So are the dragons, the dinosaurs. When you go to Job 41, you see names like Leviathan. Am I correct? Leviathan. That's even though your dictionary may not agree with me, but I will just tell you that Leviathan is like the name that can cover these things. Are you hearing me? It's not just one thing. It's like some will tell you, give you like just to explain it like these are the sea monsters. That means giving it to the sea only. The sea monsters. But the Leviathan of the very, like Job 41, is like a name that can cover this kind of animal birds that I'm talking about now. Like the dragon is an animal bird. The dragon is what? The dinosaur is an animal bird. Are you hearing me? Thank you. Now, like I said that the unicorn consumes. I'm just giving you an example. That the very unicorn, in which, for instance, okay, let me finish what I'm reading. Then I will come back to this. The unicorn is not a prey, P-R-E-Y. Means it's not food to any predator. It's not food to any, thank you. It's not a pet, P-E-T. The unicorn is not a pet. I hope you know what that one means. And it's not carnivorous. I mean, it's not a carnivore. The unicorn does not tear another animal for food. Are you hearing me? And is not also a herbivorous animal bird. The unicorn does not eat, it does not eat grasses. Are you getting it? Are you hearing this? Thank you. Has male and female gender and therefore practice mating to multiply. Put to bed and breastfeed its young one. The unicorn breastfeeds its young one. Does not lay eggs. It does not lay eggs. It's put to bed and also breastfeed the young ones. Okay? Make big holes in very high mountains and build nests for the unborn cub before giving birth. Is the bird or animal bird, please, with the longest lifespan the unicorn is the animal bird that has the longest lifespan. Have you heard this before? Now, thank you. The unicorn is also unique. Is unique. So I want to tell you some of the unique features of this animal bird. This is the time for the salvation of the heads of salvation. This is the time